if you ask anybody, hey, what is authentic media to you, and they might just say things like real photos of real people or something like that. What they really mean to say, and they don't articulate this very well, is that you're honest about what you're selling, and that you can show me visually that this is what it is, right? That is what authentic truly means.
Welcome to Content Kingdom. This is your backstage pass to the people, tools, and the trends shaping the future of content marketing.
And welcome to another episode of Content Kingdom. I am your host, David G. Ewing, and we're here to explore the wild side of content. With me is the godfather of the position I hold now. And I'm super excited to have Girish Bettadpur here with me. Girish, what's up, man? Thank you for joining.
Hey, thank you, David. Thank you. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. You and I have known each other for what, 8 years now?
It's been about that
you're
time.
finally putting me on camera. You're putting me on the spot here. Incredible 8 years. It's been great to partner with you, and it's great to see that you have taken on the mantle of the content lion now. That is great.
Yeah. Well, I think for the listeners, let's give them a little bit of context. So when we met, you were the VP of engineering for Oracle Content Management, right? That was your official title. That's what you were doing then?
VP
Or
of
were you the
product,
general
yeah.
manager? VP of product. Sorry. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a better way to say it. Yeah. But you owned the whole product and you were electrifying, and that's what drew me in, is that in those early meetings with you, it was that and the invitation to, to head out to Mallorca, Spain, and goof around with you and the Oracle team. That was fun too.
Yes.
So you built Oracle Content Management, and that was amazing. And then you left Oracle, right? And then now Oracle, of course, is discontinuing Oracle Content Management, which is why I founded Content Lion. So we are the replacement for Oracle Content Management. So yes, I feel like I'm at the feet of the Godfather here, and it's perfect that you have the Godfather poster behind you, because it's like you've made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So this is great. Okay, and then Girish, now these days you've left Oracle and you're the director of Gen AI Visual Media Stores Tech at Amazon, correct?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
So I joined Amazon about 4 years ago. And what my team is really responsible for here is all the visual content that you see in our stores. Whenever you're buying a product, whether it's a sofa, a tool, a dress, a shoe, whatever it is that you're buying, or even soap, whatever it might be, right? All of that visual content that you see, whether it is images, videos, etc., we acquire something like 15 million or so pieces of content on a daily basis from all our millions of vendors and sellers everywhere, right? And we have to then audit the content that comes in and make sure that it lives up to the policies and the regulatory, as well as our own policies, that it is compliant, and then make sure that we clean up anything, like, for example, logos or things like that that should not be in an image, so that we can represent the product correctly and make it easy for customers to understand the product that they're buying, and make the right decision around purchases. Now, after getting all the 50 million pieces of content, we still find that there might be gaps. There might be some products that don't have things like, information like infographics, or they might not have other types of information like dimensions overlaid or something like that. So we then go ahead and create all of that content, whether we do it through our studios, whether we do it through our own Gen AI related work. A lot of different work goes into creating all of the content that we need to create to make sure that customers are getting all of the information that they need before making any purchase decisions.
That is really fascinating because it brought up something I had never considered before, which is, I've gone to commerce sites now for 20, 30 years. And you just assume that when you are looking at a picture, the trust is pretty good. Like, I'm looking at the thing I'm going to buy it. But you guys have a much, much more complicated problem, right? Because of the sheer volume of things that you are putting on the site, to making sure that every item is the thing that people are going to purchase. I don't even think about it. I go on Amazon and I buy things and I'm like, well, that's what I'm buying. I mean, the trust is pretty much 100%. And but I guess that is a trust that I've taken for granted. And yeah, that is an amazing insight. So very cool and an interesting challenge. So
Yeah.
um,
There might be two products that look exactly the same. One is a branded version, another one is not.
mhm.
How do you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
which is not, right? And for us, when the images and all the videos come in, they all look the same. So we have to have systems in place and the right policies to ensure that when we reject a certain upload, that the seller clearly understands why we are rejecting some pieces of content, why they might look fraudulent, even if they are not.
yeah. Yeah, what an extraordinary challenge, and yeah, I think that that only compounds now, and that's really the topic that I wanted to dive into you today with you today, and that is, we're living in now a rapidly evolving world of AI and Gen AI, and so it's got to have an effect on the shopping experience, and so I wanted to start there. We're living in a world of generative AI, where AI is producing content, whether that be video, audio, image, or just plain text. And when it comes to just the flood of product information that
Hmm.
comes in, you still have to create an authentic experience for someone because the experience is Amazon, right? Like that's
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
experience. And so creating an authentic experience for someone in this world of Gen AI is a challenge. And I was curious to kind
Yeah.
of, get your thoughts as to how do you approach this
Yeah.
and make it authentic for someone
Yeah.
and not
So
fake.
when we say authentic, right? What
Yeah.
if you ask anybody, if you go out on the street and ask for, hey, what is authentic media to you? And they might just say things like real photos of real people or something like that. When what they really mean to say, and they don't articulate this very well, is that what you see is what you get. That is what they want at the end of the day. It's not that you used an AI person to show the model, or you created the background in the image using AI, or you added some additional information tidbits using AI. That is not what they're talking about, right? um, what they want to make sure is that, like the headphones that you're wearing, if I show you a picture of those headphones, when you get them, when you open the box, it should feel like they're the right size. That is what I thought it was, and it's the right color, and you told me it would fit comfortably around my ears, and that is what it does, so on and so forth, right? So they want to make sure, what people really want is that you're honest about what you're selling, and that you can show me visually that this is what it is, right? That is what authentic truly means. And where you tend to see things go wrong, and wrong might be a strong word here, it's not a question of going wrong. It's, if you go to, let's say, a lot of these luxury sites like luxury watches or something like that, they'll give you tons of really inspiring imagery that show the product beautifully, right? And they'll show it on, beautiful people wearing it in beautiful locations, and you're even more inspired to buy it. But when you want to understand some things about the specs, it's very hard to find them. Where should I go and find the exact specs? If you are a watch nerd, maybe you already know all of those things. But if you're not, it's really hard to get that kind of information. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you'll have sites that are total treasure hunts, right?
What do you mean
Um,
by that? What do you mean by treasure hunt?
you have the Sheins, the Timus,
Oh, okay.
a lot of these sites that thrive on, they want to create an experience for you where it feels like a treasure hunt. Every day there's an offer, and you can get something for 50 cents which otherwise you would have paid $5 for, but you have to go looking for it. And it's the thrill of the chase, and you find the treasure, and that's your thing for the day, right? But when you get the product and you open the box, um, are you still going to be impressed by what you see? Did you understand completely what you were buying? Don't know, right? Um, and then there are plenty of others where this typically happens with a lot of electronic sites, right? So on the one side, you have the best storytellers in the world, like Apple. With every piece of content they create, they'll exude utility and inspiration and information just at the right level. You'll get the information you wanted just by looking at the product detail page on Apple's page, but there'll be plenty of other electronics retailers that you'll find where you'll go and see just an information dump. Feels like a technical manual that I'm reading, right? So how do you bring these things together and tell the story that the brand really wants us to tell, and authentically, honestly representing the product to the customer and give them the information they need to make that decision? That's what authenticity should really mean.
Okay. Okay. So, thinking about it through my own sales lens, authenticity in this sense means appealing to the kind of buyer that I am at the moment I'm that buyer, right? And in sales, they always teach this classic four buyers that you see, and the analogy is if you walk onto a used car lot, right, and you're there to buy a car, if you're behaving like the user buyer, you want to know what it's like to sit behind the wheel, right? How many cup holders are in the car? Is the
Yeah,
AC working? Where's the hazard button? How's the horn sound? Like all that stuff. And I want to feel what it's like to drive this car to work every day, right? But if I'm the technical buyer, then I want to know things like foot pounds of torque and what the miles per gallon are and how many horsepower the engine has and all of those things, right? And so
yes,
and that could be one person who wants to both have the feeling and know the torque, right? And the 0 to
that's right.
60,
It could
but
be.
at different moments in the sale, right? And
Yes,
so is what I'm hearing you say is that authenticity means delivering that right feeling, that right level of information to the buyer. And like the headphones, let's go back to that. So when I'm looking at the headphones, one thing I want to know is like, how do the headphones look? Are they going to look cool on me? Like,
yeah.
I want to look like the cool person in the picture, right? Whether it's like a rapper or
No,
a
if you're
model or
wearing it
whomever,
on
right?
camera all day long, then
Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
better
You want
look
to look
good as well.
cool,
Why
right?
not? Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then, I might want to know like what are the decibels of cancellation and
yes,
there as well, And
yes.
so yeah, trying to create those different experiences when instead of just dumping all that stuff out and being like, you figure it out, right?
That's right.
So
That's right. Exactly. Exactly.
okay. Got it. And so, we're using more and more like AI to try and help us make decisions. And so, I know you've got some thoughts on this, but like, how is the presentation of this material, germane to a world where AI is now helping you make a decision or making recommendations for you? What are your thoughts
Yeah.
on that?
Now, have you used either any of the big AI platforms to do any shopping, like ChatGPT or Claude or
I have. I've
Perplexity or
I've
any
done
of those?
some crazy research on my own, trying to figure out how it gets in there to do some stuff. But I don't know if I'm the typical use case.
Yeah.
For me personally, what I did was I needed a new air conditioner on Easter Sunday. My air
Okay.
conditioner died,
Okay.
and this is Texas, and so I'm looking at the summer coming up, and I'm like, I got some time, but I really want to get this right. And so I had deep research going on trying to figure out who's the best installer with the best unit of the best tier. And like, I
Right.
spent a lot of time on that. I
Exactly.
think I got it wrong, by the way.
No, you know more about headphones than you know about air conditioners, so that kind of help was just
Yeah.
timely, right?
Yeah.
So I've told you about my wife's ice cream business that she just recently launched, and I
Right.
was helping her buy some equipment for manufacturing, right?
Hmm.
Stand mixer. Like I had no idea how many different kinds of commercial stand mixers there are and how they're made, and it was just interesting just going down that rabbit hole and learning a little bit about it.
Hmm.
But the good thing about it was that it was a controlled learning experience for me. I went down the paths I wanted to go down on, and I was able to pull myself out and get back up to the 100-foot level instead of being at the 10-foot level, and be able to quickly compare what I think was important, and then be able to move on and make a decision. Right. So those are the kinds of things that these AI agents are able to give you the ability to do. Right. But they're still not exactly where you want them to be. So today, what happens is the AI agent will just go crawl all kinds of sites and bring back information and present it to you in the best manner that it thinks it should present it to you. But it is not somebody who has accumulated 30, 35 years of e-commerce experience, which is, resident in places like Amazon. We have lots of experts here, both on the category side and the technology side, who really understand how people buy and how to help them along in their journey to make that purchase decision. So whether it is us, whether it is any of these other retailers, the Nordstroms, the Macy's, anybody you think of, right? They have years and years of accumulated IP in this regard, right? That comes through in the CXs that they build for customers to buy. So the agent is trying to disrupt all of this. So in that scenario, what needs to happen is the technology teams in all of these companies, we need to build systems that not only empower browse-based experiences, which are what typical, e-commerce experiences are, as well as these agentic ones, which are more interactive in nature. So, for example, if you went out looking for, let's say, jewelry for your wife for her next birthday or your anniversary or whatever, right? I don't know about you. I'm horrible when it comes
Yeah, I
to
need lots of
shopping for jewelry.
artificial intelligence to help me with that. Yes.
Yeah,
I lack
exactly.
regular intelligence when it comes to those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Usually, what I do is I try to, be surreptitious about, hey, would you like this or this? And my wife will tell me, okay, just go buy that one. You'll be fine. So that's what I typically do. But now at least I can present this to an agent and ask about why that would look good on a certain person or not, or even give it a picture of my wife and say, hey, put this jewelry on my wife and show me what it looks like.
Hmm.
And if I like it, that counts for something. But at least I can take that output and go and show it to some of her close friends and get input or something like that. I can do a variety of interesting things that I couldn't before and still surprise my wife, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the process of doing so, that comparison, when you were looking for the air conditioner, if it had given you options with visuals right in front of you, because the visuals came with a lot of context behind them as to, hey, here are three images of the air conditioner, one in a living room setting, one in an office setting, one in a bedroom setting, or whatever it might be. And these are different types of, they're arranged in different styles. Some of them are modern, some of them are classic, so on and so forth. So when you look at it, the agent can start to understand what kind of a person you are, what purpose you're shopping for, and pick that right image and show it to you, versus showing you 10 of those and having you figure out how it would fit in an office versus a living room,
Yeah. Well,
right?
with the air conditioning unit, so I'm not going to bore everybody in the audience with like lots of technical details about air conditioning, but here's the gist of it is that, I wanted something that was going to be super efficient, right? To cool the whole house all through the summer in Texas. And I feel like the agentic AI was good at helping me figure out, well, you want to buy essentially the most expensive models, because the most expensive models are the ones that are the most efficient. Okay, that sort of makes sense. That math checks out. But what it really missed was it turns out that when you buy the most expensive models, you have to buy their stupid thermostat, and their thermostats look like they were made in the 1970s, and you can't use like a modern like Ecobee or some really cool thermostat on
Okay.
top of it. So I'm super frustrated because I have this like top of the line super expensive thing, and then I
Yeah.
have this like 1970s thermostat that goes with it, and not like my old model was like just a dumb outdoor heat pump. But I used this Ecobee, and actually it was the Ecobee that was great, And so anyway, it was changed like the whole experience. And AI missed that, and I missed that when we were doing the evaluation, because we both thought, oh, the thermostat will be good enough, and it wasn't. So anyway, that was kind of the gist of it. But I think to your point about going back to like buying diamonds, I didn't get that feel of like, what's it really going to be like? Like for me, it's like what simulating like what the whole experience would have been like the next level. And I certainly didn't get there,
Yes.
but you just came up with an idea for how to buy jewelry that was far more in line with that. So it sounds to me like there's some trust that needs to happen here to try to get that this agentic AI experience about shopping to really go.
Yeah.
And I was just curious, like, when you think about how to build the trust here, because I have less trust now. I got tons of data and information, but I think I made a bad decision. What do you think like it's going to take to try and get trust built in these types of things?
It goes back to the what you see is what you get, right? Um, Now, the question is if all of that information was available in a typical browse based experience where you would just browse through everything to find it, would you have still missed it or would you have found it, right? Is it that key piece of information that a customer should know? And if it is a key piece of information, then then that is a gap in the overall content that was presented to you. It's not the mistake of the agent, it's not the mistake of a browse experience, it's not the mistake of an experience. It's just that the content was insufficient. And this is where AI can help as well, right? What you could do is in the background, AI could have looked at all types of air conditioners and figured that here are the key pieces of information that we really need to show the customer, and then create content where it did not exist.
Create content
And
where it didn't exist, really.
yes, so you can parse through an entire manual, like a technical manual for an air conditioner, and in there somewhere, it must have that information about the thermostat. In there somewhere, it must have visuals about the thermostat. And
Okay.
it can also look at the detail page and say, okay, this is where I'm missing some content. This is important content for me to present to the customer because I've seen it in reviews in places where people have complained that this is what happens. I get this. I have to buy this other thermostat, which is I don't know from the 1970s or something. So let me show it to David, so he's making an informed decision.
Got it. Got it. So it's not just that you have quality input, right? Which is obviously one part. You've got to have the what you see is what you get. You've got to have, the right speeds and feeds. You've got to have that the quality. You got to know what's everything's there. But it sounds to me like there's like an element of skilled processing that
Exactly.
comes in. Okay.
Exactly. You you can use machines to understand what a complete set should be versus just the I guess the top few images that you need to show someone to get them to see what the product looks like. It's not just a question of me knowing that it's a rectangular box that goes on the wall. It's that I need to know every aspect of this and how it'll actually fit my need. Is it fit for purpose or not?
hmm So I think the question that a lot of content marketers are asking themselves right now is we all know this is coming. We all know this is, and some to some extent it's already here. Um, what do we do with all of our content, right? Do we continue to write and create content that is
Hmm.
for human consumption with the thought that, well, that's the most natural thing that we would expect AI agents to grasp and understand, and so therefore it will be the best? Or do we need to do something to our content to make it easier for AI to grab and analyze and to do its skilled processing? And would love to know what your thought is on just like content architecture.
It is definitely the latter, right? Because the human is not going away from this equation.
hmm
You made the decision to buy that air conditioner, not the agent. The agent is not going to be the user of the air conditioner, you are. So,
hmm
regardless of who made the decision and press the purchase button, because there might be a day where you'll just tell your agent to just go buy on your behalf. If these are things that you regularly buy, you might suggest that the agent just go do it for you, right? But at the end of the day, you're the user of the product and you want to know how that decision was made, or you want to understand why you arrived at a particular decision, right? So that if you have buyer's remorse, it is still you being the buyer and you feeling remorseful about it, right? It's not somebody else's decision. um, so we need to serve both the agent as well as the human. So all of the content that exists and all of the content that'll get created, and I know people think of everything that is AI generated as slop. It doesn't have to be. You can make it be good. And all of that that gets created, you need to decorate it with additional context and metadata. that an agent can consume. You don't want the agent to have to parse through the image, through that visual content, and try to understand the context. You want to just give it straight up so that it understands, hey, what I'm trying to do here is inspire the user, the customer. I'm trying to inspire them with the right lifestyle setting, or I'm trying to inform them with technical details. I'm trying to inform them about the variety of different use cases for this particular product or whatever it might be. You want to highlight the context and give it to the agent so that it can quickly parse through that kind of information and present the right set of visual content to you.
Okay. So through the metadata, I guess what you're saying is you should be more transparent, right? And
Yes,
just be entirely clear, because the AI agent is going to miss a lot of context and nuance
that
that
is
we would
correct.
just get because of the emotional side of whatever it is that we're looking at.
Like I'll give you
Um,
an example, right? Let's say you're
okay.
looking for a backpack,
Okay.
and let's say there's one image which shows you the exact dimensions, how many inches wide, how many inches tall, how many inches deep, etc. And
Yeah.
there's another one which puts it in a setting with, let's say, a water bottle next to it and a laptop or a tablet next to it, and so on and so forth. So, intuitively, if you were looking at that image, you'd quickly make sense of it to say, I think what you're trying to say here is that these things can fit in this bag, right? And you don't
Yeah.
want the agent to have to think about parsing the image and understanding that context and whatnot. Just say it straight up. This image shows a backpack with a laptop and a bottle next to it. It is because these things can easily fit in the bag. There are different compartments for it. It is waterproof. If those are the things that you're trying to convey as part of that image, just tag it appropriately so the metadata makes it very clear to the agent and it can present it to you accordingly.
Got it. Got it. So, what I'm hearing you say then is yes, if you were just thinking about AI, you'd probably put the dimensions down and leave it for that. And that doesn't
Yes,
do anything for a human being, right? I look at
correct.
dimensions and, if especially if it's not in a unit I'm familiar with, right? Like if I'm an English metric person or English person, it's in metric or vice versa. Doesn't mean anything to me, but it means something instantly to an AI. But
Yes.
if I'm sitting there looking at that picture of the backpack and I see it next to the water bottle and the laptop, I'm like, oh yeah, I can totally. I have a a laptop like that. I can see how it fits in. I can see this is great. It does what I want to do, and I get that feeling. But now the AI agent is totally lost, right? So metadata to connect and sandwich and connect those two ideas together means that now both parties are getting what they need as they're trying to
Unless you
analyze the.
specifically ask it that question, like your thermostat problem. You didn't ask a
Yes.
specific question, you never got the answer.
Got it. Got it. I think that makes sense. So what I think you're saying then is that agents then can enhance someone's judgment. They're not actually there to take over and override it.
They're not. They're meant to make it convenient for you to parse through lots and lots of information. Think of it as your personal paralegal or your personal, Jeeves.
Yeah. So finally here in the age of being able to have true assistance, but not a replacement, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Exactly.
Got it. Got it.
Exactly.
Okay. So, Girish, you not only spend a lot of time thinking about this clearly, but you also on the side support your wife's big passion project, right? Which is selling
Yes.
ice cream, right? And you
Right.
guys have a brand. Tell us a little bit about your ice cream brand.
Sure. She just recently launched this brand. It's called Ticket,
Ticket.
and the idea behind the brand and the product is she wants to bring flavors from around the world to folks here in the US in the form of ice cream. Because what better way to explore the world than food? What food is better at, making you or enticing you to try it to explore the world than ice cream, right? So we were at an event recently at the launch event, and I was at the sales table with her, and I was pushing the ice cream to customers and whatnot. I kept telling them, "Wouldn't you like a scoop of joy?" Right, and it does resonate. Ice cream is joy, right? So yeah, so that's what she's trying to do, and my job is to do all the heavy lifting, like helping her buy a stand mixer or um, trying to sell more ice cream at the sales booth.
Got it. And given your vast experience in content, how do you approach the content for this? Totally, you're at the other end of the spectrum, right? Instead of dealing with like big Fortune 500 problems, you're dealing with startup problems. What's the key content that an ice cream like ticket needs in order to, you know, accomplish its goals?
Beautiful scoop shots and customer testimonials.
Yeah.
Um, but
So
I
what?
think at the end of the day, right, regardless of the product you're trying to sell, it goes back to that same underlying tenet. People people want to see what they're going to buy, and they want to get what they saw. In the case of food, especially things like ice cream, they'd also like to taste it before they actually purchase the product. And so from the taste to the actual product that they bought, they need to be the same thing. But the first thing that draws them to it is, again, an image somewhere that they saw. And that has to look nice, and it has to feel that way when they come and get it from you.
Got it. And is Ticket sold in grocery stores, or how do you guys distribute Ticket?
She's still working through the distribution channels, but yes, I think she has a couple of pilots coming up with small specialty retail stores here in the Massachusetts area.
Okay.
But right now, she is primarily selling it at events and restaurants and places like that.
Okay. What kind of events?
Uh, the launch that she did was at a couple of India Day events that happened recently. So
Oh,
August 15th is India's Independence Day, when they got independence from the British in 1947. So
okay.
Indians here in the US, they still celebrate India's Independence Day with some, big celebrations. A lot of songs, a lot of Bollywood songs, and a lot of
Okay.
spicy Indian food. And then to go with it, some good ice cream.
And what's like the perfect ice cream to have on India's Independence Day?
Ooh, the most popular one was rose nectar.
Rose
So this is like
nectar.
rose petals that have been made into a jam, like a preserve, and that is then converted into ice cream. This is a very traditional Persian Turkish thing that
Okay.
traveled to India through emperors and conquerors in the 12th century or something like that. And
Okay.
it's been in India forever. And it's had as a digestif after a spicy meal.
Well, that's amazing because one, you said that the mission was to help people explore cultures through ice cream, through food, and I've never known about that. So that's really cool, and yeah, and then to tie it to the event, that's pretty neat. So from a content perspective, I think that's fascinating, and yeah, I'd love
It's
to check that
content
out.
gold,
So
yeah.
there we go. So yes, a good story to go along with a very unique flavor. So very
Exactly.
cool. Well, Girish, this has been pretty amazing. So, for our audience out there and our listeners, if they're interested in connecting with you or hearing your ideas and thoughts about content or about AI or ice cream, what is the best way for people to connect with you?
I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. So please do connect with me on LinkedIn, and you'll find me, my first name, last name, Girish Bettadpur. There aren't very many of us with that kind of first name and last name. So you should be able to find me fairly easily.
All right. Well, look out for you on LinkedIn, Girish. So, with that, we'll call it a wrap. And Girish, thank you so much for being on Content Kingdom. It's been fascinating to talk to you about content, AI, and even ice cream.
This was incredible. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Really appreciate it.
You got it. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Now you did the teeth sucking thing. Like this was a tough choice for you between Coke and Pepsi.
So growing up in India, you never gave me the third option. Growing up in India, we drink thumbs up.
All right. So new question: Coke or thumbs up?
Yeah, there you go, thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Okay. Run for 30 minutes, bike for 30 minutes, or swim for 30 minutes.
Run for 30 minutes.
Are you a runner?
I am a runner, yes. And the other
Okay.
reason is that way my dog can go with me.
Movies on the big screen or movies at home?
Movies on the big screen.
Favorite book of all time, and kids' books are okay.
Let's just go with the Harry Potter series for now.
Okay. Hey, that's pretty good. Next up, headphones. Over the ear headphones or earbuds?
Earbuds.
Rock, rap, country, or jazz?
Oh, see the rock or jazz. Let's go with jazz today.
Yeah, jazz. All right, cool. Drones. Love drones or hate drones?
What do these drones do? Which kind of drones are we talking about?
Just drones, man. Just
Just
drones.
drones. Okay, I'll go with love drones for now. I'm
Yeah.
a technophile. I like everything technology.